Watching the 2025 SCAC Softball Media Days. Today, we're taking a look at the Trinity University softball program. The Tigers will once again be led as they head into the season are the guys head coach Bailey Wittenauer, along with leadership from junior Jordan Arce. And Coach Jordan, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Coach, we'll open things up with you coming off an outstanding season in your first year as the head coach of this softball program, 31 wins, a program record there at Trinity, advancing to the SCAC Tournament Championship. What did you learn going through that first year as the head coach of this program? And, coming off that success, how ultimately are you just excited to be back with this group and getting ready to start year two?
Yeah, overall, we're extremely excited. We learned a lot last year just about our identity and who we are as a program and all the potential that we have. So really last year was just building that confidence and knowing that we're a good team. So coming up with practice, that's just things that we're reiterating to our players every day, is making sure that we know who we are. We're coming in, working hard every day, be very competitive. But overall, I would say we're just ready to hit the ground running.
Jordan, coming into this season, we talk about a program record for wins last year. This group got to 31 a season ago, advancing to that SCAC tournament championship. All that experience and excitement. What's the vibe check now in the locker room this year coming into this season? Did the way that that season ended last year, help motivate and bring excitement to this team going into 2025?
Yeah, we have a lot of returners this year, and all of us have a little chip on our shoulder because we got so close to that win. But in the locker room, we still have our Batman and Menace energy, which is our team's running joke and our kind of mentality that we've taken on since last year. And I think everybody's really hungry and ready to win this year, and that is kind of fueling like a lot of high energy every day when we are lifting, when we're going to practice, even when we're just hanging out. Everybody's super on the same page and wanting to just get to that next level.
Coach, you look at this roster and there's a ton of familiar faces that return off of the team that had so much success last year. 8 athletes that made 22 or more starts from last season back this year. 6 of your top 8 hitters just in terms of hits return. 8 all SCAC performers, nearly 290 innings pitched of the 293 plus innings from that roster last year are back. I mentioned those all SCAC players: Hannah Boudreau, Angela Botzel, Sam Tagawa, of course, Jordan sitting next to you, Peyton Bowser, Sydney Watson, Josephine Collin, and Heather Nugent all returning. So, when you have that type of excellence returning from a season ago, what are the challenges for you as a coach to kind of, have them find that next gear, that next step coming into this season?
Yeah, really now it's about just honing in on the details. We talked about that when we started practice a couple of weeks ago. I'm extremely thankful because I look at my roster and like you just said, like we have a lot of young players returning. And last year was kind of getting their feet wet, but now they have experience. And to me, that just establishes more confidence for them as a player, knowing what to expect. So I'm the type of coach that I try to make sure I don't make things too big for them, really like hone in and focus on the small details that you can control, not being over emotional. We've tried to hit every little box that we can about all the little facets of our game before we play our first opponent. But really it's about them just being comfortable going 100% and going hard every day at practice. And that's just something that we talk about every day is don't be afraid to go outside of your comfort zone. Making sure that you're giving your best because that's all you can control, and the outcome is just what it is. And then we'll control or screw the dial the other way if we need to make adjustments.
Jordan, you've been a unique talent in this league since day one, coming into the SCAC last year, no different, showcasing it. The only player in the league to have 100 plus innings pitched and 75 plus at bats on the season. And I'm interested, another all SCAC performance as well on the season. I'm interested just, as you've taken more at bats and continued to get comfortable in the circle, how do those two things play off each other and help you in both sides of the coin, if you will, if being in the box and as a pitcher, understanding kind of what you're looking for and vice versa, the more at bats you're taking, kind of understanding what pitchers are looking to do as well. Have those things sort of played each other and given you more confidence coming into this year?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is I know that if I'm not having my A plus best day on the mound, I could go help my team out in a different way. And that's like either at the plate or even playing outfield. And so I think just finding a way to contribute constantly and just that mentality of I'm going to give my team everything I can. And that's not just in the circle. That's kind of been a big thing for me and just how I want to be a leader. And so I think, in terms of seeing pitches, it's the pitching perspective when I'm hitting. I know kind of the sequencing, and I can pick up on a few things that only pitchers would typically notice. And so I think that definitely helps at the plate, but I just try to keep everything simple. And at the end of the day, I'm playing for my team, and that's what my goal is.
Just to talk about her as a player real quick, but it's extremely fun to be able to coach someone like her because she's great at all three facets of the game. She runs the bases well, can pitch, and can hit. So for me as a coach, like, you don't get to coach players like that very often. They're very rare. So I'm just excited for her in her junior season because, again, she's had 2 years under her belt of being a two-way player. So I feel like she has a good year ahead of her.
Coach, we talked about all the familiar faces returning, but as you know, in college athletics, no team is the same. So, coming into this 2025 season, what have you learned about this version of this Tiger softball program? Some things that fans and supporters, be excited to know, and what have the newcomers brought to this team as you get prepared for this 2025 year?
Yeah, we have depth this year, I will say. We have a lot of newcomers that I'm excited about too offensively. So there will be a little bit of shakeup, I'm sure. We still have time to figure all that out as far as lineup wise, but I'm excited because we have some bats on the bench that will come up and probably come big for us. But overall, like I keep saying, it's the experience. So a lot of young players with the experience, I'm excited for them to get that opportunity just to show maybe just a little bit more calmness out there.
Jordan, finally, as we wrap up with you, you talk about that chip on your shoulder that you and a bunch of your teammates have coming off of last season. So when you've had conversations in your clubhouse with some of the leaders, within this group about some of the goals and expectations coming to the year, what have those conversations looked like? And ultimately, what do you see as being key in order to accomplishing those things heading into the year?
Yeah, so this is a big part of our team culture. We do this thing without the coaches where we set up our team goals, and they're tangible and very realistic. And we also set up our personal goals that are going to help us personally achieve what our team goal is. And so I think all of us have this shared vision of knowing exactly what we want to accomplish this year and how we individually are going to contribute, and just setting up a system where we pick each other up constantly. We have picked out people on the team who are there to help us get to that point. And so I think our team is really centered around a culture of unity, and that's kind of what helps us get to getting where our goals are and what we've set for ourselves.
And finally, Coach, what's been the message to this group as preseason has unfolded and you've started to prepare this team, both physically and mentally, and lay the foundation for the start of this new season? How are you trying to get them in the right mindset and make sure they're as prepared as possibly they can going into this 2025 year?
Yeah, I think like Jordan just said, they all have their goal and they know what they want. It's my job not to put all that pressure on them. So really looking at the season 1 week at a time. I'm really big about when we start the week at 0-0 Monday. So you're coming in, whatever happened last week, your record is 0-0 and you need to start over and work hard. So again, that's more the detailed mindset. So really just not making it a bigger deal and putting pressure that way, and really just honing in small and short little spurts and giving your best that way.
Trinity University head softball coach Bailey Wittenauer, along with leadership from junior Jordan Arce. The Tigers and Coach Wittenauer will open up the 2025 season when they take on ETBU on February 8th. Coach Jordan, thanks so much for your time today, and best of luck as you head into the season.
Thank you.